should I do a spooky voice for this one?
Do your best, Vincent Price.
Spooky. Okay. Welcome to Horror Movie Night Haunted Podcast Shop. We've got some alright shit out here, but please ignore the highly enticing back room. No, you can't have any of those podcasts. They're too cool for you. Wait, no, stop! You fucking thief! Get back, it's forbidden! Ah, shit! She's already out the front door. Alright, well, enjoy your curse. Alright, now on to Horror Movie Night, where we're going to discuss this Halloween special episode of Goosebumps, The Haunted Mask.
Woo.
Listener, beware, you're in for a scare.
Bum 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 bum.
It's like, So side note, guys, this is a little bonus episode for you guys because it's Halloween. But additionally, this is a sneak peek. If we reach our goal of $200 a month on the Patreon, we like to present episodes like this to you guys twice a month. Not always us covering Goosebumps, but us doing a bunch of weird shit like reviewing Goosebumps or Are You Afraid of the Dark episodes. But we're going to tackle the first ever episode of Goosebumps, which aired the week of Halloween when I was a young lad, and that was The Haunted Mask. Do either of you guys remember the debut of this, or was I the only one that was at the correct age group to like vividly remember this debut?
I read all the books, but I was too old to watch it.
Okay, I think I was the perfect age then, because for me, this was like Fox was hyping this shit for so long. Like they were like, "Oh man, Goosebumps is going to air the week of Halloween. We're going to air the first ever Haunted Mask episode," and everyone's like, "Man, I fucking love Goosebumps. I can't wait." And like, I remember I was in karate back then. I was taking karate classes. I was 10.
You were in karate. You're still in karate, but you were in karate back then.
Yeah. So I was 10, and I skipped karate class to watch the Haunted Mask debut. I was like, I can't go, Mom. Haunted Mask is on. And I had a VHS tape in the VCR, and I was recording that bad boy, and I came home, and I watched it again, but it was kind of like watching it in that Phantom Menace, seeing it again in the theaters kind of way, where you're like, no, that was good, right? Like, that couldn't have been bad. Like, because, like, I had hyped it up so much in my head, and it was super disappointing even as a child. Yeah, so this is the movie, or the short, the 40-minute short. Starts off with a commentator from R.L. Stine, the Crypt Keeper. He's not. And that dude made so much money on Goosebumps, you'd think that he would have that thing removed from his forehead, but, like, lo and behold, it's there.
That's brutal, man.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Sure.
Because, all right, so I watched this thing the first time around, and it was a 40-minute episode of Goosebumps, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I watched the first part of it, and then I went to watch part 2, and the link that I clicked just repeated the second half of the first video that I watched. So I was like, okay, I watched it the whole way through. I was like, oh yeah, they'll show me something new eventually. Right? I thought the little brother got his face stuck in the mask. And I was like, yeah, he did, but that's not this episode.
So you watched Haunted Mask Part 1 and then Part 2 of the Haunted Mask 2, because there was a sequel to this that they did.
Yeah. Well, no.
He just watched he watched this 1.5 times.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I watched it multiple times because I expected something else to happen because I'm an idiot. I'm that stupid.
All right, so my first note that I have is that these kids are Halloween 4 level mean between like
oh my god, yes.
Like they are so mean to the main character in this movie or this show. They're putting worms in her sandwich and shit. Which, side note, the child actress in this show, according to Wikipedia, willingly bit into a live worm for the sake of the episode. They were like, we'll put a fake worm in there. She's like, no, I'm all about the method acting.
Oh my god, was it like Daniel Day-Lewis's daughter or something?
It's like, I thought that was crazy. And it's not like this girl's really gone on to do shit. Like, if we cover more Goosebump episodes, we'll get to like 2 or 3 that have like Ryan Gosling and shit in it. This girl
What?
did not have. Oh yeah,
Oh yes.
yeah. Ryan Gosling was in the Say Cheese and Die episode.
Oh, I'm so stupid.
Oh my god! Yes, we need to watch the shit out of that.
We are both way too excited to talk about Ryan Gosling.
Well, I need something in these fucking Goosebumps episodes because these are awful. They're all terrible.
So there's a thing that happens early on in this episode where she goes home, Carly Beth, which Adam thinks is like the white trashiest of white trash names. She comes home and her mom's like, "Look at this hideous sculpture that I made of you," and the sculpture smiles or winks or something, and first of all, it is like top notch garbage '90s kids show CGI happening there for that smile. But I'm trying to remember. I've read these books. I don't think that that's part of the book. Like, I don't.
I was actually going to ask you. I was like, man, you've read all these Goosebumps books like 20 times a piece. How close is it to the original?
Well, for the most part, it is. But like, she freaks out because she thinks she saw it smile. Like, I remember that's a thing, and then it leads to her brother continuing to make fun of her for being scared of everything. Which her brother's a real fucking dick, but he's a real Murdoch. But like that's it. Like that's where that ends. You know what I mean? So it's like whoever was doing the screenplay adaptation was like, but wouldn't it be scarier if it did smile at her? Like it's not good. It's not a good thing. So Carly gets sick of being picked on, and she decides that she's going to steal a scary mask from the local Halloween shop and really scare everybody.
Yeah. She literally dips into the back room of this place where the guy told her not to go and then straight up steals a mask out of the back.
So she, as soon as she puts this mask on, her voice like literally changes. And it's just like, hey, I'm Carly Beth. Like it's like the weirdest, like a little kid trying to do their impression of Beavis from Beavis and Butthead is like the voice that she puts on, basically.
Yeah.
And it becomes harder and harder for her to take off the mask, but she keeps on wearing it anyway. And under the mask, dedication to the craft of scaring somebody. But as
commitment to the bit.
Yep. As she wears it, she becomes more vicious and cruel, even attacking her own friends. She takes the Halloween bust the bust that her mom made of her head and like puts it on a stick with a bunch of felt so that it looks like bloody tendons dangling out of it, which is really, I mean, that's some advanced thought process there for.
But it was a pretty sick costume.
Yeah.
You know,
is this when she's walking? She runs into the asshole boys in the graveyard.
I'm almost there because I have the quote: 16 men on a dead man's chest, yo ho ho, and away we go. Because I guess they can't say and a bottle of rum.
Yeah. Listen, no 11-year-old boys, no ancient sea shanties. That was actually what took me out of the story more than anything else.
No, I think that I would believe that if you've been to Disney once at that point and rid the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, you know that shanty. It's not like they were doing like something that wasn't the go-to shanty for anybody playing a pirate in a kids show.
I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to disagree.
I don't think that if you were a child that you'd be like, "Oh, I'm not allowed to say bottle of rum, so let me change this so that it's more PC."
Yeah,
I don't want to upset my mom. Chuck and Steve, that's their names. But yes, we're at the point where Carly tracks down Chuck and Steve, and she terrifies them with this bust, and then it starts talking to them, and that's where I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Because like that's beyond what like I'm gonna give benefit of the doubt to the mask situation, that the mask is sticking to her and changing her personality, because that's explained by witchcraft later on and mad science stuff. But like the bust coming alive makes no sense. in the sense that just her mom made it. Like, it wasn't like her mom was like, hey, I bought this creepy bust of your face from the guy at the Halloween shop. Like, so I guess her mom also has, like, creepy-ass magic powers.
Like, yeah. Yes, it's exactly what happened.
Her mom is actually the one that put the mask on her.
You're giving him too much credit, but now that you've explained it, yeah, that does make a lot of sense, but I don't think that the writers had any idea that was...
They didn't know what they were doing. They were just throwing shit on a wall and being like, this will stick. So what we end up finding out, because after she's like ruined her friendships and terrified these boys, she's just like, tell her you're sorry. Like, she's holding the head in their face. She runs to the shop because she realizes that she can't get the mask off. The mask has literally fused itself with her body and become part of her. And it turns out that the shop owner created the faces and that they used to be beautiful, but then they mutated and they hate anything that was beautiful. So they desired to be put on people's faces so they could become that person. And become the wearer or whatever. But only the power of love can save her. And that's when she uses the bust of herself, because it's a symbol of her mother's love, that gets the mask taken off. But, like, she's been carrying that fucking thing with her all night, so I don't understand why it didn't work prior to this moment. But she gets the mask off, and then the brother puts the mask on, and we get a spooky cliffhanger, and then we see R.L. Stine's parents at the end, and it's a pretty solid joke. It's a good joke that it ends on.
Go ahead, Scott.
I was just gonna say, so we got to the end of this movie or episode, and R.L. Stine gives away the ending in the beginning.
Yeah,
that's real shitty storytelling.
God damn you, R.L. Stine, ruining the cliffhangers to Goosebumps.
Well, I mean, if any of us have actually ever read a Goosebumps story, it is some of the worst written, stupidest, awful shit ever. It's so horrendous. It's like if... no, never mind. That's going to be offensive. Never mind.
These episodes are obviously going to be a lot shorter because we're only working with about 40 minutes of content as opposed to like 90 to 2 hours. But
and it's not good content either. So
no,
it's 40 minutes of garbage.
No, it's garbage. But I'm also looking for, if we're going to continue doing these, I'm looking forward to the few decent episodes of Goosebumps. There are maybe 4 or 5 that I think are good episodes, and out of 68 episodes, that's not a good track record.
Oh my God! What have we done?
But also, I'm really looking forward to.
We've condemned ourselves to hell. This is fucking...
yeah, guys. We just went on the shitty, janky elevator to the basement of the to the basement of the insane asylum. I opened the door. I'm just like, "Welcome to hell."
But
there's 68 levels to hell, and you're only on level 1.
But we also talked about cutting it between a Goosebump episode and an Are You Afraid of the Dark episode. And I've not seen an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark since I was 9. So I am excited to see if those hold up, because those Goosebumps never scared me. Fucking Are You Afraid of the Dark regularly scared the piss out of me as a kid. So I'm curious to see how those go.
The thing. This is going to be really fascinating. If we sort of oscillate between Goosebumps and Are You Afraid of the Dark, we're going to see such a dramatic increase in quality when we watch Are You Afraid of the Dark, and to compare the two. Oh man, it's going to be good. It's going to be a good series. We're going to do that. Let's
all right. So instead of doing What Did We Watch This Week, we actually received an email that I decided we would read from a listener named Rudy. So Rudy, I'm going to skip a portion in the middle, so bear with me as I kind of work my way around that. But Rudy sent us an email. It said, "Read, note taker, read," and it says, "What's up, Harvey? night. The subject line is based on listening to the Alligator episode. Matt and Scott, at several points during the notes segment, you basically sound like old-timey Western villains who shoot at someone's feet, demanding that they dance for me, dance, whenever Adam goes off the topic even a slight bit. So that's whatever. I agree that we could be a douche like that with him on his notes sometimes, especially in that episode. But here's the reason why we're reading this. Anyway, I thought I should ask what your Halloween costumes are going to be, or I guess what you'd want to be if you had the time. I guess he's assuming that we aren't going to get around to doing Halloween, which is definitely not the case.
Absurd.
So you guys are honestly the funniest podcast ever. Keep doing what you're doing, at least until you can fund Dead Dogs on Parade. All right, letter over. That was the best I could do for you, my dears. Which I forgot that Dead Dogs on Parade was a thing. Scott, do you remember that?
About how every time a dog would get killed, you and I would be like, "Fuck!"
Yeah. How Alligator's alternative title was Dead Dogs on Parade.
It was Alligator. It was just like there's so many puppies getting killed all over the place. I was like, the alternative movie or the alternative title for this movie is Dead Dogs on Parade.
So I have 3 Halloween costumes I'm doing this year.
Damn, son.
Yeah, so I've got 2 parties that I have to attend, and then I'll be in Disney on Halloween. So my family decided we would do like a group costume that was Disney themed. So I'm going to go in the order that I'm going to wear them. So the first party that by the time this airs, I've already done all of these things. So the first party I went as Jigglebilly from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. You know, I got a fake bottle of moonshine and some night vision goggles for night vision jiggling. And
let me hear you say I love jiggling.
Commence the jiggling, y'all. And you can't see it, but I'm doing a sweet ass little like pelvic thrust.
Okay.
And then so the next day I'm going to a party at my parents' house and realized right away that if I went as Jigglebilly, I'd be literally explaining my costume to every single person that I saw. And in an effort to avoid that, came up with another costume, which is that I grew out my mustache just a little bit and bought a Hawaiian shirt and an afro wig and will attend the party as Weird Al Yankovic. And then the final costume when I'm in Disney with my family is that my family and I are going to be the emotions from Inside Out. And it was decided that I would be the emotion of fear because I think that's obvious, really. So I have really bad anxiety, and that seems to be a good enough reason for me to be the embodiment of fear. So now
again, I reiterate this because you told me this earlier. You should be sad. That's the emotion that you should be representing.
All right,
This was a bad joke.
So what are you doing? We'll cut that. So what are you? So what are you going to be for Halloween? We'll go with Adam real quick.
I haven't figured this out yet. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be lazy and I'm going to do one of those just like pun names, like Netflix and chill or some shit like that. I don't want to put a whole lot of effort into it this year.
All right, then Scott, I know you've got something elaborate this year.
So last year, Megan and I did a couple outfit. She was Casey Becker from Scream, and I was Deputy Dewey, not Lieutenant Dewey, Deputy Dewey, and that was a goddamn blast. And so this year we were thinking about stuff, and she really wanted to be Rey from Force Awakens, and I was like, great. I mean, it's the first Halloween since Force Awakens came out because that was December of last year. And I think that there are going to be a good amount of people that are going to forget that you can still do that since it's the first Halloween since that movie came out. And she was like, I don't know. And then she realized that there are a lot of, like some of her friends' daughters are dressing up as Jakku era or Jakku Rey, you know, like the typical like costume, you know, like the one that she's wearing for most of the movie. And I was like, well, what you want to do the other one, the one where she meets Luke at the end, and she's like, oh, spoiler alert! If you haven't watched The Force Awakens, that's a spoiler.
Yeah, that was a pretty big one.
It's been a year. Get over it, people. Anyway, if you want to, so it's called. It's I can't remember, but anyway, it's a different costume, and so she found something on Etsy that makes them, and so she's got that in the mail. All the pieces of it are coming in the mail from different places. So, and I was like, well, I don't really want to be Finn, obviously, and I don't really want to be Poe because I'm not cute enough to be Poe at all. So I was like, man, what could I be?
BB-8.
Thought, okay.
Tell me you're going to be BB-8.
No. I wish. I think Megan would like me better if I was BB-8. So I'm going to be Snoke. But it's kind of an interpretation of Snoke because you actually haven't seen what he really looks like because he might not look exactly like what he looks like in a hologram. He might be something slightly different. So I found somebody that does like black Sith and Jedi robes on Etsy, and I was like, have you done a Palpatine robe? Because I'm kind of like thinking that it'll fit well with that. And they're like, yeah. And so I got that, and I'm going to do like makeup on my hands and face. I'm not going to wear a skull cap or anything, but it's because I'm going to keep the hood up the whole night. But I'm pretty excited for that because we haven't been Star Wars characters since 2010. She was Luke and I was Han, obviously, and we made some slash fiction that night.
Jesus Christ.
Fucking hell, God.
That was Goosebumps, The Haunted Mask, which aired on October 27th, 1995. If you want to hear some more bonus content like this, make sure that you head over to the Patreon and send us some donations. We've been doing really well. We're booking some convention spots. We're getting some merch ready. It's going to be an exciting 2017, and we thank you guys so much for the donations that you've given thus far. So we want to help give you more content. We want to make sure that your donations are going, that you're getting your money's worth, I guess is what we're trying to get at here. So happy Halloween. Thank you guys so much for making this year amazing for Horror Movie Night. We're going to make next year even more amazing. Don't forget to send us some emails at hmnpodcast@gmail.com. Hit us up on iTunes and SoundCloud. Rate, review, subscribe. All of that stuff does great for us.
Twitter is HMN Podcast, at HMN Podcast.
And Adam is on that shit all of the fucking time, picking fights with people. So, like, absolutely go check out the Twitter account as well. Interact with Adam. Thank you guys. Again, have a great Halloween and enjoy your day. And we will be back in November. I like that you're like self-editing yourself now ever since the Halloween 4 debacle.
Yeah, that was going to be a bad joke, and I'm not.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.